Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am your Colonial champion, Sean McCarty, here today, not for myself, but for another. For the man known as JoshAgeddon, who is here to draft his SCCG roster, which I'm going to be keeping track of here. I am the note keeper. So as you guys see who he drafts, I'm going to be writing every pick down. And then at the very end, I'm going to post it right up here like that, so you can see everyone that JoshAgeddon took for SCCG. So I'm going to just get real started real quick. Now, I haven't put them on yet, and I have already messed up the name. I put SGGC instead of SCCG, so we are flipping to the back side. And so we're going to do this, but they don't know. They don't know that I have already started this, so you got to be real quiet. So I'm going to start this chat, and we're not going to spoil it for anybody, but we're live. They don't know we're live, but we're live. Here we go. Okay, one of them knows we're live. The other knows that we're not. But the other's silent, so okay. Hopefully we'll be able to hear this. Here's the stream.
Of the stream.
Okay, cool. So we got one in. We got one in. Where's the other one? Where's the one that matters here? Because we're just along for the ride on this one. This is the Bay Area Brawler, Skylar Greenberg, everybody. You know him.
Hello?
There he is. Speak up, sir. I said
Okay,
speak up, not
loud.
scream. Jesus. But then again, this is technically about you, sir. So welcome, everyone. Now that we're all here, welcome each and every one of you here to a very special edition of the Core Martial Podcast in a simulcast here on a live stream, but also the recording on TAW Gaming. So you're going to be hearing it on two forms, because we are going to watch JoshAgeddon draft SCCG. I'm going to let him explain it just a little bit further here in just a second, but I am your Colonial champion, Sean McCarty, which I've already prefaced. That there shuffling around is the man of the hour, the man with the power, too sweet to be sour, the Bay Area Brawler, Skylar Greenberg, who I will have say hello here in just a second. And then, of course, the proprietor of Totally Awesome Wrestling and Gaming, all sorts of shenanigans that he posts up on that channel, TAW Gaming. Link is in the description. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. JoshAgeddon, here to draft. But how you doing, Skylar?
I really hope to fucking God that this draft is not like the NHL draft and takes 7 goddamn hours.
Well, at least we're going to be able to just sit along and watch, as opposed to actively trying to be in the boardroom, which we are both used to. But we've got a new show on the horizon, the ECW to the WWE and WCW, whichever one of those is which is up to you. Although technically, just for stylistic purposes, I'd probably be WCW. But in any case.
But that doesn't make sense because WWE doesn't use sports.
Oh, that's true. You got a point there. You got a point there. But in any event, regardless of which one of us is a multi-billion-dollar company, whichever multi-billion-dollar company, the one that is clearly not, clear third, is JoshAgeddon. And here comes SCCG. Why don't you tell us all about it?
Well, I haven't started recording mine yet. I will in a minute. But I just want to say that we're not calling it SCCG. It's SCCG.
SCCG. Okay.
Why can't you just call it? Why can't you call it CCG, Carolina Championship Grappling?
Because I live in South Carolina.
And those,
but you
don't associate with no North Carolina scum, baby.
No, I do not. I may have been born there, but I don't live there.
Basically, you're saying fuck North Carolina, right?
Sure.
My grandmother lives in North Carolina. You saying fuck my grandmother, sir?
Well, my grandmother also lives in North Carolina, so I guess I'm doing both.
All right. Well,
and speaking of doing both.
All right, I'm about to start my recording.
Yeah, wow, good transition here.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Totally Awesome Podcast. My name's JoshAgeddon, and I'm here with your boys, your Colonial champion, Sean McCarty.
Hello.
And he's also doing a live stream right now. It's a simulcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Simulcast. Not even the first one we've done, but I think the first live stream we've done in a simulcast.
Something like that. And we also are being joined by the Bay Area Brawler, Skylar Greenberg.
Whoop.
Say hello.
Help me. I've been kidnapped.
Well,
I'm surprised that's not how you opened the breathtakingly beautiful me versus the Elves match that I should have won.
which you didn't, and now Omega Elf is all yours.
Elfberg.
Well, see,
That
Elfberg.
cheated. He snuck up behind me. I wasn't prepared. So.
Well, we did find out that Elfberg actually has a brother, which is Omega Elf, and you will be booking Omega Elf. Meanwhile, Elfberg will continue to be our head editor here on the Court Martial podcast.
And you can't kill him and all his steroids.
Yeah, good luck.
You,
because everything I do will just bounce off of him. But
That's right.
Anyway, the reason we have all been gathered here today is because Sean and Skylar have been doing their fantasy booking shows.
Yes.
Skylar's been doing NWL. And
National Wrestling League.
And Sean's been doing ACPW, and Atlantic Coast Pro Wrestling.
Indeed.
So I decided to throw my hat, or I guess my
I decided to throw the whole hat. I didn't even want to put my name in the hat. I threw the whole hat.
Yeah, all of the hats in the world into the collection bin, I guess.
That's why Tony Schiavone doesn't have a hat after all this time, because you threw it.
You took his hat and you threw it like a real heel.
Yes. So my show is South Carolina Championship Grappling, SCCG, and this is the first official draft for the show, and I'm very excited about it. So you guys want to just jump right into it?
Well, no, we cannot jump into it because we have rules that we must enforce.
Yes.
Oh, rules.
So here are the rules of your draft. You have 40 slots to select your wrestlers. You will give 1 slot for man or woman or a tag team. Any tag team can be picked as long as both members are active, and you can use any tag team whether or not they're currently tagging or not.
For example, the Bar, or whether he isolated them, and we'll get to the isolation booth in a second, but you could use the Bar, you could use Beer Money, for example. That's another, so people who are both participants are still wrestling, even if they're not currently tagging.
Yeah.
You have to pick active wrestlers who've been wrestling in the past year. No one who is dead or retired.
Okay.
I don't know what you possibly could be referring to.
So none of the 3 elves that I murdered a couple days ago.
No, you cannot use any of the 3 elves or the midget wrestler you gave me that was dead.
Yeah. That was if you want to know all of these backstories, folks, this is a massive playlist of ACPW versus NWL is on the channel, so you can go back and watch the very first draft that we did, which JoshAgeddon put the thorn into our sides with his picks, which is also partly why we're here, because we wanted to return the favor, give him a receipt, if you will. So so the 20th pick is going to Skylar. So Skylar will choose one, and then I will get the very last pick number 40 to choose.
And whatever wrestler we pick, they have the gimmick that we assign them. You cannot change the gimmick.
Yes.
You can modify it, but you have to use what we give you.
Okay. Now, I also have my own rules for this, or at least the way I'm going to do this. The first 19, and I guess spot number 21, the first 20 of my picks are all going to be male singles wrestlers.
Okay.
Then the next 7 after that are going to be tag teams, and the last however many or so are going to be my female wrestlers.
Fair enough.
Okay.
And so also one more rule. Me and Sean both have rosters. We both elected to protect 20 people who will not appear on your show.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the other 20 you can pick if you want.
Correct.
Okay.
So certain roster members have been frozen.
I actually have a Word document open right now with all of my picks in it.
Which, by the way, you should release the protection list. That way we know who's protected, who isn't protected.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. I'll do that after we're done with this.
So,
of course. And one more thing. You can pick a wrestler from our companies, and you can choose whether or not you want to acknowledge their histories or not. For example, if you pick the Bar, you kind of have to acknowledge they were NWL champions.
Yeah.
I don't care either way.
I don't know if I'm doing that.
Yeah. Me personally, if you choose to acknowledge him or not, that doesn't really matter to me. It's cool if you do. It's cool if you don't. ACPW is kind of going on their own thing, so there's no knock if you are like, I don't want to acknowledge them.
Right. It's just like the territories. We can choose to acknowledge if something happened in our territory, or we can choose not to. It's purely up to our discretion.
That's right.
Yeah.
But enough of the rules and the other boring stuff out of the way. Let's get to the draft picks.
Why don't we jump right into this? JoshAgeddon, I have the list here now. I don't know whether you saw this prior to you hopping on, but I have got the master list. So I will be writing down every single name so that all of you folks at home who are not listening to this on the TAW Gaming channel and are watching this live can see every single individual that JoshAgeddon enlists. I will be showing it after every draft pick and at the very end, so you're all kept abreast. Because we all got to be abreast of the situation. Go ahead, JoshAgeddon.
Thick, juicy abreast.
Thank you, Katie Forbes.
Who you can find on ACPW. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell button.
I want your announcers to introduce her as Shakily Dakely.
Shakily Dakely, Katie Forbes. That's the gimmick.
And real quick, before we begin the draft, go over and like, comment, subscribe to the Court Martial Podcast and Colonial Championship Wrestling. All of our stuff. Just do it.
Do it. Do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
All right, sir. It is your first pick. Who you got?
Okay, for South Carolina Championship Grappling. Before I get into the draft, I promise we'll eventually get to the draft. The idea of it, like Sean's, is like a more old school type wrestling show.
Yes.
Kind of like NWA. Skylar's is more like a more modern-ish wrestling show, but minus stupid stuff.
I went with pro wrestling meets MMA.
Yeah. And my idea for it's going to be kind of like WWE, specifically Friday Night SmackDown from like 2008 to 2009, minus a bunch of the goofy, campy crap.
Okay. Does that mean your general manager is going to be Teddy Long?
No, I already have a general manager in mind, and I think you guys will be surprised. And I guess after the draft, I'll mention who the general manager is going to be.
Why don't you mention the general manager right now?
The general manager of SCCG is going to be John Cena.
Amazing. I love it. Perfect. There is no better person for SCCG's authority figure than the man that nobody can see. I'm guessing he'll never appear on television. Yeah. And if he did, how would you know?
Honestly, I think as much as I don't care for John Cena, I think he would be a fan. He's an interesting on-air personality, as far as being an actor and everything. Sure. I think he would be a great general manager. Like, I can picture him in like 20 years being the general manager of Raw.
I see it.
That sucks though, because we can't give him to you as a wrestler.
Too late.
I'm sure that's why he did it. I 100% believe that is why JoshAgeddon did this. Is like, nice try, assholes. But
no. When I was thinking of this like several weeks ago, like even a month ago, I was like, yeah, I want John Cena to be the general manager because I think it would be a fun
fair choice.
Like straight up.
Fair choice.
As long as he never does his fucking stunner.
No, no general managing and springboard stunnering.
Yes. But anyway, the first official draft pick for SCCG is a man who actually was in the news, or as far like had a documentary about him not too long ago that we all cringed at profusely.
Oh no!
Number one, the first draft pick is Nick Gage.
I was gonna give him to you as number 20. God damn it! Why would you pick him?
Well, purely for intrigue purposes.
Clearly being the ECW to our WWE and
yeah, remember what I was saying about clearly third?
You have the first pick to make any pick you want, and you picked Nick fucking Gage.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Now, I know what you're going to think about this, but I have a plan for him.
Let's see what you do. Let's see what you do with him.
I have a plan. You'll just have to wait and see.
I believe it. Shot for shot. Show us what you got.
All right. The number 2 draft pick is going to be somewhat more serious, but kind of like goofy in the opposite end of the spectrum, minus a lot of that goofy stuff because I genuinely think he is and has been a fantastic wrestler. I just wish that he was more serious than he is now.
Fair.
Number 2 for SCCG is John Morrison.
Like
I knew
this
it was
pick.
going to be John Morrison.
Like this pick.
I have always loved John Morrison. I don't really get the Johnny Drip thing.
It's stupid.
I mean, I asked
because you don't
Mark,
understand Gen Zers, man.
dude,
Old
I'm
ass
23,
millennial.
You understand
I'm
the young
23.
people.
and I hate both generations. But anyway, so
You are a Zer, or at least a late-term millennial.
that doesn't mean I can't hate my own generation.
Late term. Late term sounds like he's overdue for a birth or a paper.
The late term Gen Z. That sounds interesting.
That sounds, I don't know. Tell me when the due date is, will you? John Morrison,
due
good
date is
pick.
the first
Good
episode.
pick.
Yeah, I love John Morrison.
Good
He
pick.
never really got a real shot in WWE.
Lucha
Never
Underground,
really
he was
above the
great.
mid-card. And in other companies, he did great. Like, he was great in Lucha Underground. He was great in TNA. I want a chance to take him seriously. Because he has
Does that mean that his name's going to be Johnny South Carolina?
I honestly did think about that, giving him a name, but I'm probably just going to stick with John Morrison. That's what he's known. That's what he's known.
But his gimmick is he goes to another company, and besides WWE, he takes the name of that company and puts Johnny in front of it.
I'll think of something.
Johnny Carolina.
I might do that. I don't know. But anyway, moving on. Number 3 for SCCG. I'm going to do something a little unexpected. Something that I've noticed a lack of in both NWL and ACPW.
As if picking Nick Gage number 1 wasn't unexpected. It's like, now I'm going to do something weird.
That was unexpected dumb. This is unexpected like,
Okay.
I'm going to go over to our friends over at the Land of the Rising Sun with New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Okay.
Number 3, SCCG selects Tomohiro Ishii.
Oh, you want Ishii?
Yes, I love Ishii, the Stone Pitbull.
All right.
I
Sean,
believe
you
it.
spell that name correctly.
I probably did spell it incorrectly, but also all of you watching this stream are watching all of these letters backwards, so it doesn't really matter.
But yes, I love Tomohiro Ishii. I think he's fantastic. He does a killer brainbuster, and I love the whole Stone Pitbull persona. So yeah, Tomohiro Ishii has a home here in South Carolina.
I dig it.
Yeah. So, number 4. I'm honestly doing this just to save this man from Sean. Because he is nothing but a jobber in ACPW, and it breaks my heart. I get why, but I don't agree with it.
Fair.
Number
You're not
4
going to do it. Don't do it.
SCCG
Don't do it.
is Kenny Omega.
God damn it. I knew it. Why?
I honestly don't care.
Because I genuinely like Kenny Omega.
I hate your company.
You are allowed to have that opinion, sir. This is your show.
I hate your company so much.
It hurts my soul every time he jobs and gets squashed in ACPW.
Now,
I'm going to give him a chance.
All right, wait. To be fair, I do have plans for Kenny Omega. All you're seeing right now is him jobbing out. To be fair, I do have plans for Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega is the first man to appear for all 3 of our companies, and I hate that so much.
Yes, but I love that so
Amazing.
I would have liked if you had drafted the Bar first, because then that would have been awesome.
Well,
now Kenny Omega gets the history distinction.
In all fairness,
Yes,
though, Dave Meltzer's going to love all of us now. So we got that going for us.
But anyway, moving right along. We're going to keep on trucking, ladies and gentlemen. Pick number 5 is a man who I believe is a solid hand who kind of got screwed out of a top position in 2013. He's kind of just there now, and his entire career he's kind of just been there. But I think he has some ability, and I'm going to give him a shot over SCCG. That's not my company's name. I've had a month earlier, so I can't think straight. Number 5 is Dolph Ziggler.
Zigglesworth.
Yes, Dolph Zigglesworth for SCCG.
I think you should actually give him that new name and just call him Dolph Zigglesworth. I think you can make it happen. I think you can make it work.
Yeah, no.
Call him Maximilian. You can call him Maximilian Zigglesworth. Come on, that writes itself.
Maximilian Zigglesworth.
No. No.
That's the name,
What are
bro.
your thoughts, Skylar?
I hate your company.
Ladies and gentlemen, the SCCG Heavyweight Championship, the champion of the world, Maximilian Zigglesworth.
Oh, and speaking of championships, I completely forgot to mention this. In the SCCG, there are going to be 4 championships.
Okay.
There's going to be the main title, the SCCG Heavyweight title. Since this is on the internet, our secondary belt is going to be the SCCG Internet Championship.
Got it.
There's going to be a cruiserweight division. So
Okay.
Cruiserweight title. And there's going to be the tag team titles.
Should
Now,
there be a women's title too?
I mean, there are 4 titles for the men's division and the tag team. But yes, there's also going to be a women's belt. So 5 belts, but I was just talking about the men so far.
Got
I'd
it.
like you to notice that Sean has 3 belts, I have 4, and you have 5.
Yep.
I have 2.
Yeah.
No, you have 3.
I have 2. I have the world title and tag titles. And then,
Okay,
the women's title, the new women's title, eventually going to be on my show. You're right. I'm sorry. You're right.
Eventually.
You're right.
Okay, fine.
You're right.
You have 2 championships.
No.
Sorry.
No,
sir.
no, you're right. You're right. I admit I was wrong. You were right. Go ahead.
Now,
Well, technically, it doesn't exist yet, so.
True.
now, number 6, speaking of cruiserweight, I'm bringing in a veteran that I think is extremely talented and still has a few years left in the tank. Number 6, SCCG drafts the Brian Kendrick.
I like it.
I've always loved Brian Kendrick, the Brian Kendrick, and I think he would be great in a cruiserweight division that actually is taken semi-seriously.
You know, he was really underrated in his feud with Abyss in 2011 when Abyss was Eric Bischoff, and Immortal were trying to destroy the X division, and Brian Kendrick was the only one trying to keep it alive against Abyss. And actually, they had a really good feud there. It's worth going back to watch.
And I remember back when he was best friends with Ezekiel Jackson.
Oh God, that was a very interesting time for Brian Kendrick, but he showed personality during that time that he did not have up to that point.
He got a pinfall in a WWE title match at Unforgiven 2008 over Jeff Hardy.
There you go.
That was a scramble match, so he did not win the title, but still.
Plus, his stuff in the CWC, the Cruiserweight Classic, was really good as the tournament's best heel.
It was.
Yeah.
By the way, Brian Kendrick is a part-timer, so he does count still as a semi-active wrestler.
Yes.
Okay.
So you're close there. You're skirting the rules, but I'll allow it.
Number 7, going back to the land of the rising sun, one of their premier athletes and one of the biggest names over there. Number 7, SCCG selects Kazuchika Okada.
All right. Okada.
Figured you were gonna have Okada with Omega.
Not even gonna bother trying to spell that first name.
Just Okada.
Just Okada. Just Okada.
Okada.
That's what I got.
I love Okada, and him and Omega are some of my favorite matches. I just think he's great. He's going to be over here in SCCG.
And he's a veteran too.
There's one more Japanese wrestler I hope you draft.
Riho.
I'm not done yet.
Okay. Riho.
Delayed reaction, but it got there.
Maybe. I'm not saying yes or no, definitive yes or no just yet. But up next, number 8, still in the land of the rising sun, but not a Japanese wrestler. Number 8, going back to the cruiserweights, SCCG selects Will Ospreay.
Actually, isn't it Will Ospreay gained a lot of pounds?
Honestly, I know he won the IWGP heavyweight title recently.
No, he's 235 pounds. He's not
he's going
cruiserweight
to slim
anymore.
back down. He's going to slim back down to a cruiserweight.
No, but do you know the reason why he gained weight?
Why?
It's because the cruiserweight style he was working, it was doing too much damage to his knees. He had to gain more weight. Otherwise, he's going to basically blow out his knees.
Well, I did not know.
You know what? That's even better though, because Will Ospreay, I think he's better than Cruiserweight. He should be a world title contender. I mean, fucking.
I mean, depends. It depends on what I have planned for him. But again, going back to the cruiserweights, number 9. I love this man. I think he's very interesting. Half his face is painted. Number 9 is Darby Allin.
Oh. Another jobber on ACPW.
Yes. I love Darby Allin. I think he's very interesting. I'm not super crazy about his finishing move, but it works for him. And I just think he would be interesting here at SCCG.
Fair enough.
Now moving along. Number 10. Going back to New Japan and the Cruiserweight. Number 10. I adore this guy. I love his hair. I love his little cat toy thing. Number 10. SCCG selects Hiromu Takahashi.
Okay, I'm not even going to pretend to know who that is.
Wow, I am sad.
Takahashi, how old is Takahashi now?
I have no idea.
He's got to be in his 40s at least.
The Time Bomb himself.
He has been around for a long time as Takahashi. Good.
Okay.
I've only seen him brief bits of his, but he always laid his shit in hard. I mean, it was always intensity. Or like 100. I mean, that is New Japan, but he definitely brought a level of intensity that New Japan has needed in a time for, God, at least 20 years now.
Dude, go watch some of the best of Takahashi. The dude is fantastic. I love him.
By the way, he's 31.
Is he really that young?
Yeah, he's been wrestling since 2010.
Wow.
Like, he's been wrestling since he was 21.
Wow. That guy's got a career ahead of him still.
CCG.
In many ways, by the way, Takahashi, now that I'm thinking about it, I do remember the guy now. He reminds me of New Japan John Morrison.
Kind of.
Hence why they're both here.
Yes. All right.
Quarter of the way there.
11. Number 11. I think you two are going to find this one very interesting. SCCG selects the monster among men, Braun Strowman.
Braun Stupid.
Braun Stupid.
Are you bringing him in?
SCCG.
He's the biggest guy on your roster so far.
Yeah, pretty much.
Braun Stupid.
Now, again, I know I'm infamous for not liking him, but I do have a plan for him.
Is that to make him stupid?
Maybe, maybe not.
It's to be
And
tagged
I
with.
also kind of want to be yoinking from both of you, so you have to be more creative with whatever curveball kicks you throw my way.
I've got it. I've already got it. It's the tag team of Dumb and Dumber, Brown Snowman and Nick Gage. I got it.
God.
Got it.
The stupid among men.
Stupid
among men.
Stupid among
The
men.
bank addicted stupid robbers.
Yes.
Oh man.
The stupid bank robbers.
Moving right along, number 12. Going back to New Japan once again. I love this man. I think he has one of the coolest looking finishing moves. He just looks cool. He is just cool. Number 12, SCCG selects Tetsuya Naito.
I knew that's where you were going with
I
that.
figured you were going to get Naito.
I love Naito. I adore Tetsuya Naito, and he's going to have a home here in SCCG. I'm just rating New Japan at this point.
He became what Nakamura was once Nakamura went and got destroyed by WWE.
Now, I was wanting to draft Nakamura, but I noticed that you like, whose show is he on right now?
NWO.
Fine.
He's on NWL, and I noticed that he was frozen, so I could not pick him, and that makes me sad.
He is a current international champion.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't want you to ruin him.
I'll ruin him, good sir.
But we don't need to be casting aspersions. Them's fighting words. And we're not here to fight. We're here to draft.
People. Number 13, I don't know if he's still active, but we might have to stretch a little bit for this one. This is a man that I think is very talented. Did not get a chance to showcase anything, and we'll always remember him for his final match, the final cell of his final match. Number 13, SCCG selects JTG.
He's still wrestling.
He is good.
Yeah, NWA. He's on NWA teaming up with Darren Young.
That's a weird-ass team.
Yes, that is a very weird team. JTG coming to SCCG.
All right,
Brooklyn. That wouldn't be Brooklyn. Carolina.
Greensboro. Oh, it's North Carolina.
Anyway,
Amazing.
so yeah. Speaking of amazing, number 14. This dude had a very interesting career. There was a lot of dancing, a lot of talk about people's mamas.
And he's still wrestling. And he's still wrestling in NWA as well.
Yes.
What is going on with NWA?
SCCG selects Tyrus.
Talk about someone who's overrated.
He's a dick in real life.
I like him. And he is coming over to SCCG, and it's going to be interesting to see what he does over here.
Just don't have him go to autograph signings, because I promise you he won't give a fuck about any of the people that are there. I know, I've seen him, and I've met him. Just a fun fact.
And I'll keep my mom's phone number away from him.
Good call.
But anyway, moving right along once again, number 15. This one, honestly, I'm still kind of annoyed at WWE about, because this guy might not have had the most massive shining amount of charisma known to man, but he was solid in the ring. I thought he was very solid in the ring, and he never really did anything, and I think his lack of charisma kind of handicapped him a little bit, but I want to give him a shot here in SCCG. Number 15, Ted DiBiase Jr.
Okay.
Because, again, he never even won a secondary title in WWE.
He was the $1 million champion, Joshua. Isn't that the pinnacle of all things pro wrestling?
That is not a secondary belt. That is a tertiary belt, like the 24/7 belt.
Well, I wouldn't even call it that. Who has fought for the $1 million championship logistically?
Hold on. He hasn't wrestled since 2017, so he's not active. He doesn't count.
Oh, come on. Come on, let me stretch a little bit.
I'll let you stretch on this one, but you can't stretch on any others.
You're on thin ice, baby.
And also,
thin ice your idea.
There's not going to be a DiBiase posse. The DiBiase posse is dead.
I didn't even remember that happened.
It was their way to try to get him over the face after he left Cody Rhodes, was to do parties outside called the DiBiase posse.
Yeah, it did not work.
But
speaking of juniors, number 16 is a man that I am honestly in love with. And I know this guy is actually active, so you cannot take this one away from me. Number 16. I can't even count anymore. I'm so excited. We select Zack Sabre Jr.
Of course you were going to get Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah.
I see a trend here.
I love this man. I adore him. And he's going to be in our cruiserweight division, and we're going to see what he does. Going to tie people up.
The only issue with Zack Sabre Jr. is that you need someone to be able to work his style, which is very hard.
Yeah. But I love the guy. I still love that one match he had with Drew Gulak at the Cruiserweight Classic. I thought that was the best match in the entire Classic.
That was a good match.
It was.
That was a good match.
His stuff with Ospreay and New Japan is amazing.
Yes. Now, moving on down the list. Number 17. This man just came back from injury. And he's a little on the larger side, but we all love him. And we're terrified of him being in WWE because it's WWE. Number 17, SCCG selects Samoa Joe.
That's fair.
The Samoan submission machine is over here in SCCG just wrecking shit.
Honestly, you needed somebody like Samoa Joe on this roster. You needed someone as kind of an anchor piece that is really going to bring a lot of the people that you're introducing and elevating to somebody who a lot of people recognize and can relate to. And I think that this is a really solid choice. It definitely puts some more depth into your current roster set.
Yes. I love Samoa Joe, and it's also perfect timing because he just got medically cleared, in real life.
Yeah. So
but anyway, Number 18. This one's going to be a little bit of an interesting choice because, I mean, back in his day, I thought he was really good. Now he's kind of just a comedy guy. But I want to take him a little bit more seriously because I think it's good to have a few veterans on these shows. Number 18 is R-Truth.
Good choice.
National Wrestling Leagues are true.
Yes, National Wrestling Leagues are true.
I've always believed.
Will set you free.
I've
If
always
you're the best
believed that Ron Killings was tremendous in his time in TNA and the NWA. That's why they made him the NWA World's Champion. And it's a shame that he became such a comedy figure in WWE because if he had stayed on a serious route, I think he could have actually drawn some money for some pro wrestling programs. So this is a really underratedly good pick.
Yes, because he legitimately has talent.
Yeah, he can work. He can totally work.
The 400-time 24/7 champion, R-Truth, coming to SCCG.
That's right.
65, thank you.
65,000? Okay, yeah, that's right.
No, 65,000.
Number 19. I guarantee that neither of you have heard of this man.
We'll see.
He's from a similar or the exact same place that our good friend, the number 1 draft pick, Nick Gage, is from. Number 19, we select B-Boy.
Heard of him, never seen his work.
B-Boy. He's pretty decent. He had a world title match with John Moxley back in like 2011, and it was actually a tremendous match.
He's the brother of A-Kid. B-Boy.
He hasn't wrestled since 2014.
So I can't select him?
No. I gave you one with Ted DiBiase Jr.
Okay, so I cannot select B-Boy. So cross out B-Boy. Okay, all right, go ahead and give me your curveball picks.
Well, no, you still got to pick 19, sir. You still got to pick 19.
Come on, you gotta pick the Japanese wrestler I love the most.
All right, fine. Matt Sydal.
No.
You could do Matt Sydal.
Yeah, I like Matt Sydal. If I can't have B-Boy, then I will have Matt Sydal.
I'm almost tempted to give you my curveball pick because I know you didn't pick him.
I'm a little upset before you do into that, Sky. I'm a little upset that B-Boy wasn't allowed because I had a joke about him being the brother of A-Kid and C-Child. And D-Daughter.
I might have him come in as a manager, not as a wrestler. So B-Boy as a manager.
Yeah, but that you don't have to draft. Managers you don't have to draft. So, all right, Sky, it's your turn. What do you got for him?
Again, can I give him 2 picks?
No.
Nope, just 1.
You can give him a
You
tag
didn't let me have
team.
B-Boy. I'm only letting you have 1.
Fine. I'm tempted because I want to give you someone that I really love from Japan that you didn't pick, and I'm angry that you didn't pick him.
He might later. He's got another 20 picks to go.
But the thing is that I can't waste this opportunity to give you something that's shit.
Oh, no.
Let's hear it.
Okay. Because the thing is that I could give you a really terrible wrestler. Like, I could give you Tamina, or I could give you someone like Liv Morgan, or I could give you a shitty male wrestler. I could give you Sonny Kiss. God. But that's not a challenge. The challenge is to take something that you love and was ruined and fix it.
Okay. All
Okay.
right.
I'm going to give you the Fiend Bray Wyatt.
Oh.
And
You know what? Fine. I'll do it.
Now, you have to keep the Fiend gimmick. You can modify it however you want, but you have to keep the Fiend gimmick.
Oh, absolutely. I love the Fiend when he was first introduced, and then they ruined him. I hate the Fiend on WWE because WWE is just D-list, god-awful horror movie garbage.
What, you mean
I can
wrestling
do that.
Goldberg doesn't help your career, especially losing to him in a minute and
Losing to a
change?
terrible-looking jackhammer after kicking out of 8,000 curb stomps is not the best thing in the world.
Who'd have thought?
So yeah, I welcome the Fiend with open arms.
Besides, it makes sense that you have to have a demonic clown on your roster.
Of course.
It does.
I mean,
It is fitting.
By the way, if you notice, I also gave Sean Alexa Bliss, so
Yeah.
I separated those two. I'm not giving them together.
And also, with the Fiend also comes the Mr. Rogers, creepy Mr. Rogers thing as well, right?
If you want to, you can modify
Okay,
that part
absolutely.
if you choose.
That's the best
Absolutely.
part of it, is the
But-
creepy Mr. Rogers part of it.
But I'm still angry you didn't pick the Japanese wrestler I like.
Who is the Japanese wrestler you like?
You know who it is.
Black and yellow?
Who the hell do I team up with Kenny Omega?
Oh,
Kota Ibushi.
Kota Ibushi.
Oh, I didn't even think about Kota Ibushi.
How can you not pick him?
Because the ones that I drafted, I like more.
Fuck you.
And where's Kota? And where's Kota Ibushi?
Sucks.
Skylar
is overrated.
Skylar, is Kota Ibushi on NWL though now? I'm just saying.
What?
I said, is Kota Ibushi on the National Wrestling League right now though?
I had to drop him because I had to drop Kenny Omega. Besides, let's be honest, Nakamura's better.
Wow.
Yeah.
Prime Nakamura in his
Prime Nakamura's better.
2011.
Prime Nakamura's better.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
All right, 21.
21, the final pick for the men. Number 21, our final draft pick is a man that I think this, despite his comedy gimmick, he actually has some skills. Because when he turns it on, he can go. Number 21 is Santino Marella.
When was the last time he wrestled, though?
I absolutely 100% need Santino Marella. I'm not even going to lie.
Okay, here's the deal. Here's the deal. You're going to get a mulligan on this because you gave me Santina. So if you want to take Santino, I will give you the mulligan of taking Santino Marella.
Yes, the answer, by the way, is the 2020 Women's Rumble.
Amazing.
Right, so yeah.
That counts.
That counts. So
Actually,
Santino Marella and SCCG, and I also have a plan for him.
Dear God.
Hold on, Sean. Before we continue, can you show that roster real quickly on screen?
Yeah, here's the men. All right, so here is the screen. You can't read any of it, so I will read it all off to you as soon as I finish that. But here, you take your screenshots for those of you who want to see it. And then
that's a shitty roster.
Then mirror it. Let me read to you what's gone on so far. Let me read to you what's going on so far. Pick number one. Nick Gage, John Morrison, Tomohiro Ishii, Kenny Omega, Maximilian Zigglesworth, the Brian Kendrick, Kabuga Okada, Will Ospreay, Darby Allin, Some Word Takahashi, Brown Stupid, Tetsuya Naito, JTG, Tyrus, Ted DiBiase Jr., Zack Sabre Jr., Samoa Joe, R-Truth, Matt Sydal, The Fiend Bray Wyatt, and now Santino Marella.
It's like you took 5 different types of wrestling and put them together in your men's singles scene. That's weird.
Yep.
Like none of it makes sense.
Yes.
Skylar, have you met me?
Yes.
Have you met me? I don't make sense.
Like you have the serious Zack Sabre Jr. and he's going to wrestle against Santino Marella.
Maybe.
I'll tell you what, though. I'm glad that you invited me because ACPW is feeling fairly confident that SCCG is not going to be a threat to the East Coast profits of Atlantic Coast Pro Wrestling.
Wow, thanks.
So,
thanks, John.
Hey, yeah, you got your little territory. I'm not worried at all. So, continue going, Pafos. I will continue being Nick Goulas and Memphis Wrestling.
All right. So, I have selected
as a reference
7 tag teams. 7 tag teams.
All right, let's do it.
Number 22.
Oh, man.
Is the tag team. It's 3
22.
Yep. 3 people in this, but I'm only drafting 2 of them because this one person I absolutely hate, and it was the first time I was ever censored on the Court Martial podcast. SCCG selects the Jurassic Express, but it's just Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy.
Right.
You're not keeping Marco Stunt?
Absolutely not. I'm putting him in a rocket and sending it to the sun.
Hey, I made money with that gimmick, okay? So shut up.
Well, you humiliated him 7 times on television and then fired him.
No, he was fired. He was fired on the first night, and then I kept trying to have him get his job back, and he kept getting beat down, and then finally Kurt Angle tapped him.
Yep.
What a life.
Exactly
what he deserves. But anyway, speaking of interesting tag teams, this is a bit old school for me, at least. I'm not aware if you guys know that this was. I'm maybe aware that this was a tag team, but I thought they were an interesting pair. Number 23, SCCG selects the Switchblade Conspiracy, which is Jon Moxley and Sami Callihan.
I don't hate this pick because I feel like if there's any person that's going to be able to rejuvenate and have them play off each other, I feel like Moxley will rejuvenate Callihan, and Callihan will probably rejuvenate Moxley to some degree. So it'll be interesting to see those two together.
Yes. Even though I don't really care for CZW, I thought they worked well together in CZW.
If only Callihan didn't look like a potato. Because he does. A big vested potato.
See, I tried to make Jon Moxley halfway serious, and I kind of did. I cannot take him seriously in AEW.
It's hard. It's hard to take anyone seriously in AEW.
Our next pick, number 24. SCCG selects Los Ingobernables de Japón, Evil and Sonata.
Evil and Sonata?
Yes, I love those two.
That's an interesting tag team.
Sonata is pretty good, from what I remember him.
And Evil is underrated.
I can't say I know much about Evil.
He's pretty good.
He's the leader of the Bullet Club right now.
I did not know that.
Is that still a thing?
And also,
yeah, the Bullet Club is still a thing.
What?
Unfortunately. Also, Tetsuya Naito and Takahashi were both former members of Los Ingobernables de Japón, so maybe a little resurgence here in SCCG. I mean, you have 4 members of the same group, so
we'll have to see.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be a New Japan ripoff without taking a stable from them.
Yes, absolutely. Up next, I'm genuinely still annoyed about this because they broke up this team way too soon. I mean, they're still technically a team, but they were ripped away from a group.
The important people.
The important people.
Yeah.
And I genuinely like both of these guys. And I don't understand why they are never given anything. Number 25, the team of Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander.
Did you hear what happened on Raw?
No, yeah, they had a handicap match against Bobby Lashley.
And got their asses kicked.
Yep.
Why?
I love Shelton Benjamin, but he never rose above U.S. title. And I love Cedric Alexander, so I'm giving them a fair shake here in SCCG.
I think in a lot of ways, like I forget who you were referring to about this. It might, but it's. I think what Shelton Benjamin's biggest problem is that charisma held him back.
No, wait, what? I'm not thinking that.
Charisma held him back a little bit.
Yeah, it's honestly the same thing as with Ted DiBiase.
Yes, that's who you were saying.
Insanely talented, but they're kind of lacking in the charisma department. But when you're in a tag team, it's easier to mask that.
That's right.
Anyway, moving right along. Speaking of masking things, I think this might surprise you. Number 26, SCCG selects Ryback. Ryback and Curtis Axel. Bringing that back.
Does Ryback even wrestle anymore?
I have no idea.
I don't care. Yeah, I just want to see what you do with this. I want to see where you're going with this.
Because I did enjoy them as a tag team. They grew on me a little bit before.
Just don't have Ryback wear those stupid singlets.
Oh, I'm gonna have him in singlets in promos when he gets out of the limousine. Anyway,
you cannot have Paul Heyman though.
That's fine. That's fine.
I'm gonna lay that groundwork right now. You cannot put Paul Heyman with these two.
That's fine.
But you're good. Continue.
Number 27. You guys have mentioned them several times earlier in this. Number 27, The Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro.
Glad they're here.
The first tag team to be part of 3 different promotions.
Not the first wrestler, but the first tag team.
That's right. Big distinction.
The first wrestler had to be fucking Kenny Omega.
Speaking of people that were showed up by another person, and you're like, oh man, but they're kind of good, I guess. Number 28. I don't know if they still wrestle or not, but I think they might. I have no idea. The Colons, Primo and Epico.
And the answer is yes, they do.
The Colons. Okay.
The Cologne.
No.
Not Carlito.
No, the Colons.
They're
Are those on what?
My other wrestling show on my channel.
Well,
So why not have them come over?
in SCCG, they're called the Colons because the rest of this roster is shit.
Well done.
Couldn't help it. Continue.
Are they gonna try? They're gonna try and sell you timeshares, aren't they?
No, I hated that gimmick. Absolutely not.
I wish that we would have gotten a storyline where they would have sold a timeshare to Heath Slater, and it cost them the SmackDown Tag Team Championships.
But anyway, moving right along. Now we are done drafting tag teams.
Yes.
Unless Sean's curveball to pick is a tag team.
Well, you'll see.
We're moving on to our women's roster.
Yes.
Number 29, or the first overall women's pick, is a man that Skylar drafted.
Wait. I couldn't let that go.
Woman?
The first woman I'm going to draft is a man who defines womanhood.
Yeah, this is the one that Skylar killed me with, but he said that I could have her. That also sounded wrong. Piper Niven.
Dewdrop. Got it.
I'm not fucking calling her Dewdrop. That is...
Nope, but that's how it's written on the sheet.
Fine, whatever. I'm drafting Piper Niven. I love her. I think she has a lot of talent, and I can't wait to see what she does in SCCG.
Yeah, it's going to be something. It's going to be something.
Right. Moving right along, number 30. This is a woman that I actually think is severely underrated. She started off, she wasn't that great, but the more she wrestled, the more she kind of came into her own. And I'm honestly a little surprised. I get it, but I'm a little more grateful than anything that neither of you drafted her. Number 30 is Caitlyn.
Okay.
Because I genuinely think that she improved so much.
She did. She did. She learned how to work.
And she was pretty good in the Mae Young Classic.
Oh, that's right. I forgot she was in that.
And also, I just want to have a woman who does the spear. So
fair.
Yeah. So moving on, we are going from the land of the rising sun all the way over to the UK with our number 31 pick. And so number 31, SCCG selects Kaylee Ray.
Okay.
Because more than anything else, I love her. She has a very heelish sounding voice.
She does. She does. She can be very condescending at times.
Yes. And she's just fantastic in the ring.
Sure. It is true.
So yeah. Can't wait to see what Kaylee Ray does. Moving right along, number 32 is a veteran. A veteran that I think is very talented. She still has some miles left. And again, I just like having veterans on these shows to help bring up the youngins on this show. Number 32 is Mercedes Martinez.
Great choice.
I love Mercedes.
She is terrific.
Yes, she is. And I love her finishing move, the Fisherman Buster. No one does it quite as impactfully as she does.
No, you could tell. I mean, she was definitely a late bloomer because she was already in her late 30s, I think, by the time that she was discovered in the Mae Young Classic all those years ago. Yeah. And she has really proven in those years that she really should have been looked at earlier.
Yeah, and
because she's great.
She just looks like a badass.
She does.
I'm kind of surprised, Sean, that you never picked her for your roster because I feel like she would have been a great fit.
Yeah, I'm also surprised that neither one of you picked her up.
She would have, but I had plans for people like Camille, and they ended up taking up my time.
Yeah. Don't even mention her.
It's because she's fine and she's mine. So,
whatever, I got the horsewoman. That's all that matters.
Speaking of fine, number 33, someone who has just a tsunami of potential, just brimming below the surface. I don't know why I got so excited when I said that.
I don't even.
Number 33, SCCG selects Tegan Knox.
Tegan Knox. Okay.
The shiniest wizard.
She has to stay healthy.
Yes.
That'll be the trick.
That's the reason why I didn't draft her, because if she gets one more knee injury, her career's over.
Yeah, I am genuinely always just concerned about her whenever I see her in the ring.
Yeah, understandable.
But
definitely
she's also pinned the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions at least 100 times by now. So yeah. Once again, moving on, number 34 is someone who's kind of like Mercedes Martinez. She has that badass aura. She's more of a veteran, and I just think that she's great. Although I have noticed that she's been slowing down a teeny bit, but again, comes with age. Number 34, SCCG selects Mia Yim.
Mia Yim, good choice. Definitely fitting for what the flavor of this roster is filling up to be.
Absolutely.
Why is it that I like your women's division more than your men's division?
Because my men's division is full of people that you hate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like you haven't drafted Sexy Star yet.
Oh God, no!
I don't think she's wrestling anymore, is she?
She's in MMA now.
Oh, great!
She's actually supposed to hurt people there. But anyway, speaking of veterans, I think this is one of the most talented veterans I've ever seen. She was in the Mae Young Classic. She's just insanely good. Number 35, SCCG selects Maiko Satomura.
Oh God, the final boss.
The final boss, Satomura. I love her. She's so good.
Like her stuff in the Mae Young Classic is.
She's insane.
And the best part too, no, Sean, you have got to watch her. Like she's that old Japanese woman who will kick. Oh, come on, Sean.
I have no idea who this person is. I'm literally blank. I'm blanker
Go back
than
and
a.
watch those. She is one of the toughest Japanese women you'll ever meet. Like she makes Asuka look like fucking Mandy Rose.
Well, if I ever meet her, I'll be sure to tell her that. But I'd like to just see a little bit of her first.
She is more terrifying than Asuka when Asuka was good.
I may have to force you to make that a match of the week as a final boss.
I'll take a look at Sushi Samaguchi here pretty soon.
Wow.
You're going to take a look at Christy Yamaguchi on the ice.
Maybe.
All right.
Olympics.
Now up next, 36. I'm not sure what I'm going to call her because she has two different names. So I don't know which one I'm going to stick with. But she kind of impressed me in the Mae Young Classic, and I thought she was pretty good. She's not the biggest woman, but she has an interesting look. Number 36, Hayden Carter / Lacey Lane. And I honestly don't know which name I'm going to use.
You could go with either one.
Hayden Lane, I guess, a fusion of the two.
Oh, no, don't fuse. Don't fuse.
Carter Lacey.
No.
But anyway, all right, so whichever.
I should just give you Lacey Evans. Damn it, I should give you Lacey Evans.
Oh, well, you missed out on that, sir.
But she's pregnant. But she's pregnant, so she's not active.
Well, you can draft her baby. Anyway.
Oh my God! You just gave me an idea.
Oh, no.
Anyway,
my
continue.
God, I hope it's not with the person I'm thinking of.
Continue.
I know. I already know. I should not have said anything. I'm filled with regret, but I'm gonna. I cannot wait.
Hold on, Sean. We'll talk about this off screen, okay, man?
Why bring it up then?
But anyway,
37.
Speaking of why bring it up, number 37. This woman will make specifically Skylar and especially Sean's blood boil. Number 37 is Ronda Rousey.
You know,
I hate your roster.
Are you drafting Ronda Rousey's baby? Is that where this was going? Because that's actually where I was headed with this.
Oh, I thought you were gonna give me the hand, like Mae Young's hand.
When was the last time the hand wrestled?
That doesn't matter.
It definitely does matter.
Here's the thing, though. Ronda Rousey hasn't wrestled in 2 years, and she's pregnant right now, so she's not active.
Well,
Sean, are you okay with giving him Ronda Rousey?
Take her into that C-list promotion and bury her into the fucking ground. I don't give sodomizer with a rusty cattle prod. I do not care.
Wow.
Do whatever you got to do.
Tell you what, until she gives birth, I will not use her.
Okay.
That is such a weird thing to say. That's such a weird thing to say.
The second that baby pops out, get your ass into South Carolina.
Yes, absolutely.
As soon as that cord's cut, you're on an airplane, Rhonda.
Yeah. And you might be wrestling number 38. Number 38 is someone whose debut was not the best. She was definitely one of the weaker members of the Mae Young Classic, but I think she's improved. And I genuinely think there's something here. Number 38 is Xia Li.
Well, with the exception of the fact that somebody just gave her a receipt of a lifetime just recently, if she kicked people less like she was trying to kill them and just made it look like she was trying to kill them, I'd be more enthusiastic about this girl.
Yeah. So I'm going to experiment. This is also going to sound weird. I'm going to experiment with her.
Fair.
And our final draft
pick let's hear this.
For the women's roster. Our final draft pick for the women's roster. This is not the last bonus pick. Number 39. Speaking of that receipt, the current NXT Women's Champion, SCCG selects Raquel Gonzalez.
Wait, didn't I protect her?
I don't think you did.
I don't think you did.
Hold on. Let me go back.
I don't think you did.
I thought I protected
As he looks back in a panic. Worried as all hell that SCCG might corrupt one of his pure talents.
No, hold on. I thought I protected her. Son of a bitch, I didn't.
Yeah.
Don't catch you slipping up.
I caught you slipping, bro.
Caught him slipping up.
I shouldn't have protected Sasha Banks. I knew you wouldn't take her.
No, absolutely not. You should know better. You never know when Joshua is going to sneak up from the darkness from behind you and just shank you with one of Kevin Dunn's teeth.
That's right.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah, I bet it's disappointing.
Now I have to acknowledge it for Kim Gonzalez kicks Ronda Rousey's baby.
Words you never thought would be expressed in a professional wrestling context have been expressed here today.
Raquel Gonzalez do that leg hook choke slam on Ronda Rousey's baby.
What a way to get heat. What a way to get heat. I kicked your baby. What are you going to do about it, Rhonda?
Just goes full on Snitsky and punts that baby into the audience.
That wasn't my fault. That was not my fault. Okay.
Okay.
God.
Number 40 is the last bonus pick. Sean, do your work.
As fun as Snitsky would be to pop into this slot, I don't think he's wrestled it a bit. He's too busy grilling and making very sexually lewd jokes on Instagram about his wife.
He's too busy working at Planned Parenthood.
So, yeah, I bet.
Although you could get Conan, I guess.
Well, to Conan. No, I'm not going to give him Conan. So, I have a list of 4 individuals. And I'm going to slowly narrow this down, and you will hear my reasoning. Now, 2 of these guys are very much similar. So, if I got rid of one, you'd be very angry if I gave you one. You'd probably find something to do with number 2. Number 4, as much as I want to give you number 4, I kind of really like what I'm doing with that particular person right now. So I'm not going to do that. So what I'm going to do, I have, it's either going to be number 2 or number 3. And I think it's going to be number 3 here. I'm going to tell you who I am not going to give you.
Okay.
I am not going to give you Nia Jax.
Thank you.
Because I don't think, I still feel like a woman that big you could still use, even if you have Piper Niven. I was going to give you Marco Stunt. Just to be a dick. But
that's boring. That's boring.
But that's boring. That's boring. I was going to give you Goldberg. Because you gave me Goldberg, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's right.
And so I was going to return the favor. But none of those are as fun as what really caused me to hate your picks in that draft. Because Goldberg,
don't do it.
Because Goldberg sucked. And I can't give, but the problem is I can't give you Nicholas.
Okay.
I can't give you Nicholas because he hasn't wrestled. He has school. So instead, I'm going to give you a different child.
Oh, no.
With your 40th pick, I am giving to you -1.
I have no idea who that is.
That's
Brody Lee Jr.
And he has wrestled in the past year. Good fucking luck. And you have to keep him in the Dark Order. He's the only kid in the Dark Order.
Okay.
Brody
Fine, that's
Lee
fine.
Jr.
So
He's 8 years
All
old.
right.
you want to
He's
give me, you want to give me an 11-year-old? I'm going to give you an 8-year-old, motherfucker.
All right, that's fair enough. Fair enough. I
So,
have gotten my.
so good luck. So would you
Oh,
like?
I can see it now. The Fiend versus -1.
Oh my
Oh,
God, blockbuster. So
No, just have Snitsky show up and kick him.
amazing.
Kick him out of South Carolina.
Oh, here we go. Managed by B-Boy, -1.
Or a blast from the past, Kenny Omega versus -1. Wouldn't be the first time he's wrestled a child.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my God!
let's review this roster.
-1 be a tag team.
-1 and Omega.
Amazing. Unbelievable. So here we go. Here's the roster with the general manager of the most serious and legitimate person on this roster of John Cena.
Why would the fuck would he agree to do this?
We have a roster as follows. Nick Gage, John Morrison, Tomohiro Ishii, Kenny Omega, Maximilian Zigglesworth, The Brian Kendrick, Kakumaga Okada, Will
He's reading the
Ospreay,
list, but he can't hear us.
Will Ospreay,
Figures.
Darby Allin. I'm on a roll, baby. Takahashi, Brown Stupid, Naito, JTG, Tyrus, Ted DiBiase Jr., Zack Sabre Jr., Samoa Joe, R-Truth, Matt Sydal, Bray Wyatt, The Fiend as Skylar's pick. The second half. Santino Marella, Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, John Moxley and Sami Callihan, Evil and Sonata, Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, Rybaxel, The Bar, The Colons, Dewdrop, Caitlyn, Kaylee Ray, Mercedes Martinez, Tegan Knox, Mia Yim, Satomura, I don't know that person, I'm going to have to learn, Lacey Lane, Ronda Rousey, Xia Li, Raquel Gonzalez, and everybody's favorite, -1.
Absolutely.
There's your roster, folks.
Is there any way I can get you to not have Raquel Gonzalez on this show?
No, there is not. There is absolutely not.
I can't believe I forgot the protection.
Yeah, that's on you, buddy. That's on you.
Skylar, you should know this by now. Never forget to use protection.
Well, I didn't know you. I should have figured you weren't going to pick Sasha Banks. I protected Becky Lynch, but I felt like you would take Becky Lynch.
Nah, that's too obvious. I wanted to go a little outside the box.
Yeah, and not only did it go outside the box, he took a box cutter to the box and cut up the box and destroyed the box. And he still did it better than Braun Strowman, who does not know how to operate basic tools. Remember this, folks.
Yes. But anyway, so now that the draft is over, I'm going to go ahead and set some things up for the future. Our first show, the first SCCG show, is going to take place on our flagship show. It's going to be like our Monday Night Raw. And all of my shows are going to have some kind of South Carolina theme.
Fair.
The first show is going to be called Palmetto Power. Because, you know, palmetto trees, South Carolina. And the main event of Palmetto Power 1 is going to be a South Carolina death match between Santino Marella and Nick Gage.
Dear Lord, help us all.
That's
I've got no words.
Are we sure this isn't the CZW to our ECW and WCW and WWE?
It's SCCG. And and I am very excited to continue to run the major towns in South Carolina in ACPW with no fear of ticket sales going down. But I will have to tune in to see if there's pieces of SCCG in true WWE fashion that we can take and bastardize. So,
all right.
I'm
very excited about this. I have my roster, and I'm ready to see what they've got.
Well, this is certainly going to be interesting, sir. Thank you for having us join along for the ride to see this train that is chug-a-lugging along. Whether it wrecks or not, you'll have to watch, folks.
Yes, and we have Braun Strowman, so there are train noises.
That's right. But just coming from him, he's actually doing them. They're not CGI involved.
No, they're coming out of his mouth. He can actually do like authentic train noises out of his mouth. It's crazy.
Choo choo.
But you got to tune in to watch.
Yes, thank you guys so much for watching. Go subscribe to the Court Martial Podcast and Colonial Championship Wrestling. Or Colonial Impact. I'm ready to go to bed.
Colonial Impact Wrestling?
CIW. Colonial Impact
CIW,
Wrestling.
not CCW, CIW.
That's right.
Like, comment, subscribe to TAW Gaming. And be looking forward to the first SCCG show, Palmetto Power, with Santino versus Morella in a South Carolina death match. I'm dead serious. Thank you guys so much for listening.
What a show.
All right.
Well, that's it, folks. That's what you saw is what you saw. Good job, gentlemen.
I fucking hate that I didn't protect Raquel Gonzalez.
Yeah, that's a botch. That's a botch, bro.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Not even that I got Raquel, that you forgot to protect someone and I just stole them from you.
Well, it's not that you stole her from me. I'm still going to use her. It's just that I forgot that she's so good, and I figured that you wouldn't get any of the horsewomen. That's why I didn't protect Charlotte.
Yeah.
I know you guys don't like Sasha Banks.
No, I like Sasha Banks. I just don't have any ideas for her at all.
She's there. She's a woman. Yeah. She wrestles. These are facts.
These are things she does.
I'm a man of facts.
Plus, I figured I was going to give you John Cena. And I was going to give you Nick Gage. And I was going to give you Braun Strowman.
Yeah, he really took the piss out of the picks there.
Yeah, absolutely.
It made me go outside the box. And then the second you said kick a baby, I'm like, oh, child. Perfect.
But I will say that for the first show I'm doing, the ending, I'm going to go in a direction that neither of you are going to see coming.
I'm excited.
It is not what it seems to be. I'm just going to say that.
I'm excited. I can't imagine it'd be on show number 1. So there's got to be a reason. I'm definitely interested.
Yeah, I'm not going to come up with the most idiotic match ever without a reason.
Right.
Oh, well, Sean, you're still live on YouTube.
I know I'm still live on YouTube. I'm here with all of the fine listeners of the Court Martial Podcast because I have some news to share once you two leave the building. And I'm just here to celebrate the post-show show. And then I will reveal my last little bit of show, and then YouTube will bid me adieu until the next Court Martial Podcast.
For a second there, I thought that was his polite way of saying, get the fuck off this call.
No.
Which, well, after the draft that I just did, I would not blame you for saying that.
Well, you have the announcement, so why don't you make the announcements?
Well, because the announcement is one that I'm going to do on my own, gentlemen. Because I want you to watch the announcement rather than sharing the announcement with you two live. Because the announcement is big and it only involves me. So I don't want to group you two into something that is not going to have you two grouped in upon.
Does that mean that you're retiring?
No. Why would I can't retire? I can't retire now. The wrestling world needs me, Skylar. They need us. They need our booking. Here's the thing. Court Martial Podcast listeners, they already know this. They need pro wrestling right now needs sensible booking. You can't find it in WWE because they deliberately choose not to. You can't find it in AEW because the guy on top does not have a goddamn clue what he's doing in between Ritalin shots. So where are you going to find quality booking? Right here, ACPW, NWL, and to a lesser extent, but I'm sure to a very capable extent, SCCG. So that is the way that we have found it. So we are going to have such quality booking all the time, everywhere. And it's with that in mind that I will share my news a second as you two bid adieu to the Court Martial Podcast listeners. What a great show we have had today. A nice special edition. JoshAgeddon, say your goodbyes. And how do you feel about your draft, man?
I really liked it. I feel the exact opposite of the way that you two feel, where you absolutely hated it. But
I didn't hate it.
What I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm up to. You two have no idea what is in store for you next.
Well, I'm excited to hear it. JoshAgeddon, thank you so much for joining your own show. And Skylar, any last words for the people as you prepare to watch what SCCG has got coming up?
Well, now I feel the pressure to have to announce matches. So at this point, I would like to announce that our next show, NWO Summer Showdown, will have a main event with the world champion Roman Reigns versus the limitless one Keith Lee.
That's a pretty big match.
5 minutes, and he's going to beat him in 5 minutes, and then Goldberg's going to come out.
No.
Hopefully not. Although that is the gimmick we did give Keith Lee on the last episode of the Court Martial podcast.
You didn't give him that gimmick. You just observed the gimmick that WWE gave him.
True.
And then he lost a fucking Karrion Kross this week.
Amazing.
To a back suplex.
Another back suplex. Another back suplex. That's not the first
time. It's not the first time he's lost to a back suplex.
No, he didn't lose to a back suplex. He lost to being passing out. I'm not kidding.
The worst.
He lost that fucking straitjacket submission thing he does.
But will Keith Lee beat Roman Reigns for the NWL Championship? You will have to find that out on the next episode of ACPW versus NWL in 3 weeks' time. But until then, thank you both for coming out for this fantastic special edition, and I will see you two very shortly.
See you.
Peace, gentlemen. All right. Now that the fun kids have left the room and it's just me, it's time to announce this. And the reason I wanted to wait, it's not that I don't want them involved, because obviously they are the best. And I love both of them very dearly. They have been good friends of mine for many, many years. Skylar, I could not do this show without him. And I could not do... Well, anyway, so here we go. And what I'm going to announce here is something kind of small. It's nothing big, but I need your participation at home. If you can come up with some ideas for me. Now, I've already got a string of these going. We've been talking about how we need good and sensible booking. And one of the things I want to do, and I have 3 episodes already laid out as far as how I'm going to do it. I just need to record them and edit them, and then they'll be coming up. So this is kind of a stay tuned over the next several weeks, because I do plan to get this done promptly. I got challenged by a different wrestling friend of mine to rebook Wrestling Calamities, a la the Montreal Screwjob and the Victory Road 2011. What do you do? Or Bashed at the Beach 2000. And those are the 3 that I have right now that I actually have finished. But there are going to be more coming along. I have come up with my solutions for these particular predicaments. Now, when I do these videos, there's going to be a set of givens. Like, for example, in the Bashed at the Beast 2000 episode, Hogan ain't doing no job for nobody, baby. So, because Hogan's not going to be doing any jobs for anybody, that's going to be a given. We're going to go off the given that Vince Russo is not booking this show and is not appearing on this show as an authority figure at all. And the like, for example, in the Montreal episode, we're going to assume that Shawn Michaels is going to continue to be a prick, and Vince is just going to not give him any consequences for any of the actions he's taking. So there's going to be, it's a fantasy rebook, but we're keeping some semblance of reality mixed in. So with the teasers of my Montreal and my Bash at the Beach 2000 and my Victory Road 2011, how do you fix what is seemingly unfixable? Because it's got to be better than what we got, right? Every time I see the Montreal Screwjob thing, every time I think to myself, there had to have been a better way to go about this, other than a double cross. When you knew in well enough time that Brett was not going to do the job for Shawn, and you knew that Shawn was going to be a disrespectful prick to Brett, there had to be a solution for this, and I've got one. It takes 2 weeks, and it solves all the problems, and you still end up with the same outcome all the way around. And that was my goal, is how do I do this? Frame it, make it better so it doesn't cause the controversy, and make everything pretty much the same going beyond that point. So 3 episodes coming up. My Montreal, Survivor Series 97. I've got the rebook. I'm going to make it right. Bash at the Beach 2000. I've got the answer. I'm going to rebook it and I'm going to make it right. And Victory Road 2011. Aside from the obvious of don't bring Jeff Hardy out into the arena, how do you fix it? How do you make that so it's not making you look like you have massive egg on your face when your world champion shows up too inebriated to wrestle? I've got the answers. So stay tuned. It's going to be a very exciting time. It's a solo project here, where most of the time it's me and Sky or me and JoshAgeddon, as you saw. But this one's a little bit of a solo project. I've got ideas, and I'm going to share those ideas with each and every one of you. But until then, thank you very much for coming to this Court Martial Podcast special edition. And I will see you on the next time around. We may or may not have a show at the end of this week. I'm not sure it's going to go because I'm going to start working on the new editing software. So we're going to see how that goes. And if we don't go anywhere further from there, that's fine. Probably what's going to happen. And actually, I should say this now. We're not going to have one at the end of this week because next week, August 2nd, starts our Monday night premieres. That's right, folks. We are moving the Court Martial podcast head-to-head with Raw. Monday nights, 8 o'clock Eastern time. You will see the launch, the debut of the Monday Night Court Martial podcast live premiere. You're going to be able to catch all the action the way that you like it, the way that we like it, but on a better night for everybody. So stay tuned for that, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for coming. We will see you on Monday, folks, right after this commercial break.